I'm very different. I think I had a nice smooth growth up to the point where Queen was this stadium band, and I thought I kind of had life sussed. I had a nice mum and dad, I had a nice wife and 3 beautiful children, and a band which seemed to ever be increasing in stature, and I was having a wonderful time basically. And then more or less everything cracked at once. My father died, I split up with my wife over a long period during which I struggled against it. You know, it took me about 1.5 years, in which time I couldn't move, got very depressed. And also the band obviously wasn't going to tour for a while, so that release was taken away as well. So I sat stuck in England in complete blackness for much too long. And I was very unproductive. I managed to play a few guitar solos for the Miracle album, I think. But basically I was a bit of a washout for quite a while. That's when I decided to make the solo album. I thought, I need a release, I need something that's going to pick me up off the floor, which can be the beginnings of me, because I didn't know who I was anymore. I'd lost my identity. So that's when I started, and I wrote this song called Back to the Light, which is a kind of idealized dream of here I am in my dark space here, and over there is the light somewhere, and somehow I will get there. But I had no idea how to get there. I didn't know which way to go. I didn't know where the light was. So it was all downhill from there, really.
So the album is
up and downhill,
full of sad feelings, but also kind of optimistic, mixture of those two things, that there is still hope.
Yeah, well, I only found it gradually, and I think if you listen to the album, you'll find it's kind of jumbled up. But there's this theme running through it, and there are different views of the same piece of life, which is gradually changing. And each time there's a different feeling, a different atmosphere.
Like I'm Scared, it's very touching and chaotic, and
very small.
The beginning is like a
that's right, like a
song
baby.
to a baby.
Exactly, yeah. And then there's moments when I would find inspiration from someone else's life, or someone else's death even. You know, you get such strange images pass before you. And I felt almost like I was not in the world watching some of this stuff go by. I got very confused. It sounds like I was on acid, doesn't it? But I wasn't. I've never believed in taking any kind of drugs. I always thought my mind was messed up enough without drugs and without alcohol on the whole. So there it is, you know, the album is like this series of Polaroids stuck into an album. You know, this kind of album that you turn the pages of, photo album. And towards the end, I was very fortunate in that I did seem to find some optimism. I found a lot of patterns which made sense. And although I couldn't solve all the problems, I felt better in myself. I felt like I was a complete human being, so at least I could, what my therapist calls, bear unbearable pain, you know, which is what it's about, I suppose. So I'm actually in much better shape. I'm in I had to reconstruct myself. I don't actually like the person that I was those years ago, although it looked all right on the outside. It was kind of all wrong on the inside. So I'm beginning to like myself a bit more, and I'm ready for the future.